Today, I'm going to teach you how to slam your mixes.
Traptendo.
What is going on, guys? DJ Av here, and we're checking out Slam XL by BeatSkillz, and I've checked out a couple of their stuff before. Two plugins that I really enjoy by them is That Thing, which is an audio processor that has a sampler built inside of it. Really dope. Also, I enjoyed Synthwave drums, which was a really dope niche plugin for synthwave production, or if you do like Prince or 80s-ish type music production. Really dope. This time I'm checking out one of their mixing and mastering plugins, and I want to see, is it good or not? Let's go, let's check it out. So looking at the GUI here, it's a little dark for me. It's kind of hard to read. I am old, forget that. Old gang. So it might be a little different for you. If you can read because of the darker GUI, then it's fine. But for me, somebody that has a 1080p screen, it's a little difficult to see because the plugin is a little smaller. The different modules that it has, it starts off with a EQ, which is a 3-band EQ. They have bass instead of lows, then they have a mid area, and then they have top instead of highs. And you know, it just works this way as far as like your gain and then your Q, so you can set up how wide or narrow your EQ will be. And then you also have your frequency sweeping, where you can sweep between 50 to 200 hertz in the lower end, and then 500 to 4K in the mid end, and then 5K to 15K in the high end there. So, and then you also have a high pass filter just in case you want to quick EQ some of the lower frequencies out of the mix and then build it back with this bass area right here. We take it to this middle part right here where you see a input and output display. And as you can see, it displays like your gain reduction and the input and output, so you can see what you're doing here. And then we have a compression area. Instead of it saying threshold, it has comp, so I guess like how much compression you want. So if you put all the way up here, that's maximum compression. All the way down here, that's minimal compression. That just makes sense, I guess. And then you have your F and S attack, which if you go all the way to the left, which is usually the rule, that is fast compression, and then if you go all the way to the right, that means that it's slower compression. And as well, we have the release, which has fast release and slow release, and then you have your ratios. Also, we have a limiter section here. I don't know if it functions as a soft clipper, so we're going to test that out as well, and a stereo expander. And then we also have this mix knob, of course, so if you want to set up like a drum bus and you want to do parallel compression, you could do that with this plugin. I'm instantly intrigued by the stereo expander though. I'm gonna test it out on the master bus real quick. I want your opinions in the comment section, of course, and the link will be in the description box if you're interested. So let's play with some of the presets. Do keep in mind, if you do play with presets, that you are supposed to use them as a starting point, not as a fix. So I like this bigger one. This one sounds pretty good to me. Again, I'm just using this as a starting point. Turning it down real quick so I can talk to you guys. So I mess with the bass. The bass in itself sounds very pumpy when you turn it up, the gain part. Gotta mess with the saturation. fire it up a little bit, huh? I just want to test it out at maximum settings to see if there's any difference analog wise I can hear or on the track, audio wise that is. The fifth algorithm definitely can tell the difference. It's like a little distorted. You can definitely hear it on algo number 6. So I have it on the master bus. I've noticed some things audio wise, like it boxes in your mix a lot. And, you know, that's a preferred taste for some. I don't know how I personally feel about it. Doesn't sound bad, to say the least. I've heard a lot of mixes professionally that have this kind of treatment, that has an enclosed treatment. So the limiter in itself is very punchy, and I really like that about it. And then when I was adding bass to the track, it sounded pretty damn good. One of the things that does bother me, though, is the fact that, you know, this is a plugin that is for mixing and mastering. However, you cannot rearrange the effects and, you know, change the signal to your liking. And I really would like for them to do that or explore that. I don't know how they would do that, but I do think in this time right now, there's a lot of other plugins in this realm that are able to do that. Okay, I'm gonna check out the bass part of the track and see how it sounds like on the bass. Let's go with that. Let's go. So here we're on the bass, and I'm gonna check out that, and I have the track activated. Let's go ahead and play it without it though. Now I'm gonna play it with the plugin activated. But there are presets for this as well. I'm going to use them as starting points, and I'm going to go with the bass, and I'm going to start with the chic bass. It's on right now. You can see the gain reduction in the middle, and the output and an input. It's on again. One thing I want to point out is this filter section, of course, because if you have this high pass right here, you have a 30 hertz cutoff. And what that does is it's going to cut off some of the inaudible bass that will be in the track anyway. So you're not going to really lose much, but you will gain that with this part right here, of course, because this is the gain. This is how you boost your low frequencies right here. And then you can also sweep between them right over here. So, you know, if you're at 80 or 60 hertz, you know, 60 hertz will be more audible to the human ear. So, you know, it's just something, a personal tip. That's cutting off the messy bass right there. All right, let's hear this with a little bit of other audio here. One last thing I want to check out is definitely the stereo expander, and we're going to check that out as well. We're going to hear the difference in that, so I'm going to go ahead and play the track again. A little bit more elements, of course. Let's go with that. So playing with it, I think it's pretty cool. It's very subtle. The stereo spanner is very subtle, so you know it is what it is there. Well, I'm gonna go and just check out some of the other presets and see what works and what doesn't work. So this particular preset right now is loud 1, and as you can see, if you look at my master meter here, so it can actually double up as a soft clipper, and that was one of the things that I was concerned about if you was able to do that. So that's pretty cool, and the mix is pretty slam. I also noticed that it's still, even though it is not distorting over here, you can still hear some taste of distortion, so it's just what you're looking for out of your track in that regard there. So going to the next preset. Alright, so let me know how you feel about this. My personal opinions, there are some pros and cons. The pros that I really like about it is that you can achieve a really good mix with it. Some plugins, you know, they put them out there and there are certain things that are limited for that. And it's not like this plugin doesn't have its limitations in certain departments, but for the most part, I like the fact that you can get a nice loud boxy mix. And then it has 6 different algorithms, and the stereo expander is really good too. My cons for this is that you can't rearrange the modules, and I hope that they will check that out as well, because that does add to the flexibility when you're trying to mix and master. However, it allows you to get a nice clean mix, so I really do like that about this plugin. So does this get the stamp of approval? Yes, but about 65% yes.